The evolution of the modern Western framework, a legacy of control. The systems that define modern Western society, law, education, finance, religion, and even our shared perception of reality, are not accidental. They are the culmination of centuries of deliberate design, where power has been consolidated, adapted, and refined to maintain dominance over populations. Beginning with the hierarchical structures of the Roman Empire, this framework evolved through religious institutions, Enlightenment rationalism, industrial capitalism, and corporate-state partnerships, arriving at today's technocratic era. As of October 2025, with advancements in artificial intelligence and digital surveillance reshaping governance, this legacy continues to adapt, blending old mechanisms of control with new technologies. This article explores this genealogy, revealing how control over narratives has always been the key to societal obedience. Roman foundations, the blueprint of hierarchy. The Roman Empire, 27 BCE to 476 CE, laid the groundwork for Western systems of control by institutionalizing hierarchy on an unprecedented scale. Unlike earlier tribal or city-state models, Rome's governance integrated law, military, and culture into a cohesive apparatus of authority. The paterfamilias system, where the family head held absolute power, mirrored the emperor's role over the empire, enforcing obedience through codified laws like the 12 Tables, circa 450 BCE, and later Justinian's Corpus Juris Civilis, 529 to 534 CE. This legal framework influenced modern Western law, serving as the basis for justice systems in the United States and Europe. Religion played a pivotal role in legitimizing rule. Emperors were deified, and conquered deities were absorbed into the Roman pantheon to promote unity. Education, reserved for elites, focused on rhetoric and philosophy to cultivate loyal bureaucrats, while public spectacles like gladiatorial games normalized violence and hierarchy. Even after the Western Empire's fall in 476 CE, its administrative divisions and titles persisted in barbarian kingdoms, evolving into feudal structures. The medieval church, inheriting and spiritualizing authority. With the Roman Empire's decline, the Catholic Church emerged as its primary successor, transforming temporal power into spiritual dominance. Following Constantine's Edict of Milan in 313 CE, Christianity became the state religion, adopting Rome's centralized hierarchy. The Pope as supreme authority, akin to the emperor, with bishops and priests mirroring governors. This structure preserved Roman organizational prowess while shifting legitimacy to divine mandate. The Church monopolized education through monastic schools and early universities, blending theology with logic in scholasticism, as seen in Thomas Aquinas's Summa Theologica, 1265 to 1274. Economic control came via tithing and indulgences, fostering dependency, while the Inquisition, from 1231, suppressed dissent as heresy. Architectural marvels like Gothic cathedrals symbolized awe-inspiring hierarchy, and the Gregorian calendar, 1582, standardized time under church oversight. The Reformation, 1517 onward, fractured this unity, but the model endured, with Protestant states repurposing ecclesiastical functions. The Enlightenment from divine to rational authority. The Enlightenment, circa 1685 to 1815, reframed control from religious dogma to reason, but retained hierarchical essence. Thinkers like John Locke argued for social contracts and individual rights in two treatises of government, 1689, undermining monarchical divine right while justifying colonial expansion. Voltaire advocated enlightened despotism, blending reason with autocratic rule. This era separated church and state, promoting secular governance, but reason often masked elite interests. The crisis of religious authority, sparked by Protestantism, expanded to question all traditional beliefs, paving the way for revolutions. Yet, as anti-religious innovations emerged, the focus shifted to rational systems that still centralized power. The Industrial Revolution, Commerce and Dependency. The Industrial Revolution, circa 1760 to 1840, transferred authority from clergy to industrialists, mechanizing control. Britain's Enclosure Acts displaced peasants into factories, creating wage dependency. Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations, 1776, ideologized free markets as natural, concealing exploitation. Electricity and machinery accelerated this shift, transforming economies from agrarian to industrial. Education systems, like Prussia's, emphasized obedience, influencing global models. Empires exported this framework, using infrastructure for dominance. The corporate-state alliance, globalizing power. In the 20th century, corporatism merged business and government, subordinating society to corporations under state oversight. Emerging in response to liberalism and Marxism, it peaked in mid-century Europe and developing nations. Figures like Benito Mussolini relied on corporate power for fascist goals. Post-World War II, institutions like the International Monetary Fund, 1944, globalized finance. Propaganda experts like Edward Bernays applied psychology to media, treating publics as manipulable. Neoliberalism under leaders like Ronald Reagan further entrenched this alliance. The technocratic present, digital integration, and beyond. By 2025, technocracy, governance by experts and technology, dominates, using artificial intelligence and data for control. Initiatives like Project 2025 aim to streamline systems with conservative values, aligning with visions from figures like Peter Thiel. Silicon Valley's influence on policy exemplifies this shift. Artificial intelligence requires moral frameworks to avoid undemocratic control, as warned by global leaders. Digital technocracy expands surveillance and censorship, normalizing global oversight. In the United States, reforms since 1901 have curbed excesses, but challenges persist. Recent discussions highlight artificial intelligence's role in total control, with resistance to agendas like mandatory vaccines and deep fakes. Elite gatherings like Bilderberg discuss surveillance and artificial intelligence-driven technocracy. Conclusion: breaking the cycle. This framework's endurance lies in its adaptability. From Roman swords to artificial intelligence algorithms, control over belief ensures compliance. Yet, as decentralized technologies emerge, opportunities for disruption arise. Understanding this history empowers us to question narratives and reclaim autonomy in an increasingly technocratic world.